ads on.
Look at those guys.
Hello, everybody. Brian, you're not supposed to talk while the title screen is out. What are you, an amateur?
The producer didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I know. She assumed you're a professional.
Big assumption.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining this incredibly highly and tightly produced production with the Broker Action Coalition. My name is Brendan McKay. I'm the co-founder of the Broker Action Coalition, and here with my friend Brian View, who has a big, new, exciting job to tell us about. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Brendan. I appreciate you taking the time to let me share with your community what's going on with me. And before I do that, just again, thank you to you and Rachel and the team at BAC for your leadership. At BAC, and it's been a cool year to see some things get done, but there's still a lot of wood to chop.
Oh yeah, I know. And we are working on all sorts of fun stuff. LO Comp is at the top of it. But I'm going to start chopping that tree down for sure. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about MSMO. So
right.
Brian recently got a big deal job as president of MSMO. And if any originators out there are like me, they're like, I've seen MSMO, but it didn't really mean anything to me. I had no idea what it was, other than literally the file. Like when I export a 3.4 file, like it says MSMO, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
that's a big deal.
yeah. I'm like, that's a big deal. I know it's a big deal. I just don't know what it is.
Pretty sure it touches every single loan that gets originated in that sense, right?
All right. Well, so are you now the most powerful person in mortgages?
I don't think so.
Okay. So what exactly? What is MSMO? What does the organization do? Just throw it all at us.
Perfect. Yeah. So MSMO is a nonprofit, and as a nonprofit, MSMO exists by and for the entire housing finance ecosystem. This MSMO is not a IMB, bank, credit union, mortgage broker specific nonprofit. I say we because it's we collectively, and it'll be we in a different way on October 16th when I officially take my new role. But MSMO exists, like I said, by and for the entire housing finance ecosystem, the entire industry. So it does live functionally. It lives as a subsidiary of the Mortgage Bankers Association, which has a lot of benefit because MSMO gets to leverage a lot of the assets and resources in brain power at the MBA. But as I've learned here over the last several months, as this process has unfolded, and I've attended the last two MSMO summits, the work that gets done by MSMO is not done by it's a very small team at MSMO. There's maybe 8 full-time employees. The work that gets done by industry experts, subject matter experts across the industry. MSMO is the kind of the glue that brings these players together. And a great way to think about MSMO, Brendan, is, the industry identifies problems, big, small, any kind of problem. And then MSMO gathers a team together across the industry to create solutions for that problem. So if we rewind the clock to this Fannie 3.4, I think it used to be a 3.2 back in the day, MSMO compliant data set. Remember the days when all of us as originators, regardless of where we were, what company we were in, whether we were using a licensed technology for loan origination or our own proprietary, we did things like called borrower first name. The field was called something different. Yep. Some people called it client name, customer first name, borrower name. MSMO, the MSMO process created that uniform standard data set, including all the naming conventions for the 200, 300 plus fields on a 1003. To create this compliant data set. That's one example.
Okay, so to make it real tangible, we have a new 1003. a new mortgage application, and it is MSMO's responsibility to work with all of the lenders and technology groups, whether it's Calyx or Arrive or LendingPad or whatever it is,
Yep.
and make sure that this one file type is compatible with everyone, which is probably a combination of push and pull, right? Like making adjustments within the file type, but also being like, hey Calyx, who failed in this, right? Like, I said it, not you. But like, and they did not adapt to the change. They did not make the changes they needed to immediately for it to go smoothly for them in the way that it did for everyone else. Is that kind of a relatively fair statement?
Yeah, that's, again, we're using one example. There's
another.
Dozens of standards. Think of servicing. Think of servicing transfers, right?
Okay.
That's another major work group that is under MSMO, working to improve and create and improve the standards, the data standards that impact mortgage servicing transfers.
Right. So that like the audit file from the lender to the servicer, as well as maybe some third-party company that's auditing it, whatever, all transfers over smoothly and data is flowing back and forth with ease while also extremely securely.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is eliminating, duplicity in the process, right?
Right.
Streamlining that process, condensing the amount of time it takes for that particular activity, that task to occur, in this case, servicing transfer as an example, which everything MSMO does ultimately benefits a consumer in one way or the other, either in a better process, streamlined process, more transparency, or, the major holy grail that all of us, shout out Greg Share, all of us are focused on long-term is a better consumer experience and a lower cost for consumers to access housing finance, mortgage, right? And I want to go back to the cross section of the industry a bit, Brendan. And this is where I'm going to kind of put my plea out there to your community.
Yeah.
That the cross section of the working groups in MSMO, it literally is everybody that has touches a particular loan or a particular part of a loan, depending on the problem that's being solved. And it is inclusive of the GSEs, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, HUD. All the players have a seat at the table, and regulators. There's regulators in the room for some of these working groups. And so one area of the industry that's lacking is really the front end production side.
Yep.
There are some, heads of production that participate, but it's mostly, the back office and wholesale. The wholesale channel is definitely represented,
but all the lenders,
by some of the largest lenders. But we really should, and we owe it to the consumer at the end of the day, and the entire industry, to get more representation from the broker channel itself. So that's one thing I'm going to be focused on is doing things like this, Brendan, kind of coming on and building awareness. I think it all starts with awareness. No different than when Back started. It was it's a grassroots project, right?
No, I mean, like this, what you're saying is something I'm very used to, right? This isn't the only situation that brokers probably should have been involved in at some level and weren't. That's literally what the Back has been trying to do. So but whatever you need, Brian, whatever you need, man.
I love it. I have some ideas and thoughts on how MSMO can help loan officers. And I'm me, Brendan. Loan officers to me are every loan officer, regardless of the channel.
No, originator is the best term. Because what you're talking about the broker channel, but you're also talking about retail originators too. Yeah. And what they do in the process. No, I get it.
Anybody that's facing off at the end of the day with consumers, that's what I want to make sure, we are focused on at MSMO, and helping that constituent, that consumer facing, piece of our business. So I have some thoughts and ideas that'll start to come out over the next several months on what we can actually do directly through MSMO to benefit originators.
Awesome.
But a lot of it's just being aware. And so I would encourage all of your viewers and listeners, and I know this is like Jimmy Kimmel Live. There's probably 6.7 million watching right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, well, just wondering what controversial thing you and I are going to say.
Yeah. But go to the MSMO website and just poke around, and you can see on that website there's dozens of working groups. These are active initiatives that are currently underway, and these working groups meet regularly. There's also communities of practice, and communities of practice are just what they sound like, and it's open to everybody. This is the cool thing about MSMO. You don't have to be a member of MBA. You don't have to be a member of NAM or AIM or the BAC. It's for everybody. And so literally anybody that wants to participate can participate in those communities of practice. And it's okay to just participate as an observer. But I would encourage you to start by just poking around at the website and learning about, some of the different work groups and initiatives. And there's going to be more to come. We've got, there's AI is the wave, right? That's the big wave.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. I just dropped the link in the chat for everybody. Like you've got like one on blockchain, which I'm like, that's awesome. And I know that there's some brokers that would love to participate in that. And like, and I'm one of those people. Like I know what blockchain is, kind of. Don't ask me to tell you what it is, but like I know it can solve a lot of problems other than meme coins. And like I know that like the way that title works, like the literal title of property. Land records are a goddamn mess in this country.
Right.
And I know that blockchain has the capability of solving some of that stuff. And so it is. And so to that point, and you said earlier, you didn't say mortgage industry, even though I do know now that the first M in MSMO is mortgage. But you said real estate industry. So does it? Well,
housing. I said housing finance
and stuff too, or
I said housing finance kind of.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you.
But for a reason, because I do think there's opportunities for MSMO to partner with other parts of the housing ecosystem, again, to improve the process efficiencies, transparency, and ultimately the consumer experience. But by and large, it's a mortgage, centric organization and initiatives.
Cool. No, this is awesome. And like Brian said, and you sounds like something I say when I tell people to, start go into your state association government affairs meeting, and like you don't have to say anything. Like and anytime you're joining something new like that, like no one's expecting you to raise your hand and have all the answers the first time. More questions than anything else. And honestly, if you have questions, ask them, because other people probably do too. And that's like, this is literally an example of that in action. But if it's a topic that interests you, I'm scrolling through it. Like there's some cool stuff on there that I don't have the time to do, but I'm like, some of this stuff has Jerry Robinson written all over it.
Yeah.
And show up to a couple meetings and eventually you'll know enough to contribute. I love it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. I think about, like, again, for that local community-based originator, we're all challenged and struggling. Volume is what volume is, the market is what the market is. But there's a lot of stuff that distracts consumers, our buyers and borrowers. And so to me, if I put my, originator hat on, which I haven't worn in a lot of years, decades actually.
It's usually just, I used to be an originator. I know what you go through. Yeah.
Yeah. That hat might be a little tight now. I think my head's gotten bigger. Not in an arrogant way, by the way. But I would be doing everything in my power with resources available to me, in this case, the MSMO kind of resources, to be the most informed originator so that I can represent that confidently to my community. And those are the things I believe that are going to help originators stand out. I'm not saying you have to go out and get a bunch of designations and all that, but man, we should always be learning and then demonstrating our education as we engage with our communities and the consumers that we serve.
I agree completely. And I'm looking at like, VA documents to data development work group. Like that's something an originator could absolutely have some contributions to, that like you are contributing to things that will be that will cause change like a couple steps down the process.
Right.
But if that goes better, if that is more efficient, that will be better for veterans. Like,
Sure.
and to Brian's point, what all these groups are missing is the tip of the spear, and how things actually work. And it's honestly one of the back superpowers when we're walking around Capitol Hill is that, and if it's applicable there, it's applicable here. Like we're as close to the consumer as you're going to get without knocking on doors. And like we're usually in agreement with other trade groups, whether it's MBA or whoever, but we're going to bring a different perspective. And there's some things we're going to either care about more or less than they are, or understand on a deeper level, and many things that we understand on a more shallow level too, right? But like that difference in perspective, especially when the goal at the end is the consumer, if we're the ones closest to it, like we're the ones that are in a position to be like, I see what you're trying to do, but here's how things actually work in practice. So do this instead or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's probably the type of input that you're looking for. Is that fair?
Totally. And there's on that site, I know you put the link in the comments, but somewhere on that website, there's a link to the MSMO newsletter.
Okay.
And the team does an awesome job. Shout out Amy Moses.
I love Amy. I know Amy.
Yeah.
Go Amy.
She's part of the MSMO team.
Love it.
And so Amy's been producing this newsletter and just a ton of valuable information and content in there. The latest is kind of a summation of the fall summit. So you get a kind of a, take a Saturday morning, spend an hour and read through that. You'll get a summary of all the working groups, the output, kind of what's going on. And you may find something that piques your interest that you want to get involved with. And we welcome everyone to jump in and share.
I love it. And like, honestly, what all this sounds like is on some level, the industry actually regulating themselves a little bit
Sure.
when it comes to data integrity and efficiency, which our industry is not known to do. So that's great.
Yeah.
Really, really cool, man. All right, so I should have said this as a jump. Like I had no idea how this was going to go. I was just like, This will just be like if I was on the phone with Brian and trying to figure out what his new job is. And yeah, man, I don't have any other questions. I will. This is really, really cool.
You know where to find me. You know where to find me.
Dude, congratulations, Brian. Thanks for coming on. And also Brian is on the backboard. He's looking into whether he has conflict of interest problems or not. If you found that answer, you don't need to say it right this second. But
we're working on that.
All right, good deal. Regardless, we love having Brian on the board. The perspective he brings when it comes to technology within the industry is unmatched, and I can't think of a better person for this job. So, congrats, man. I love it.
I appreciate you, Brendan. I appreciate your audience, and again, I love the energy and effort and results coming out of back. Keep it going.
Dude, hell yeah, brother. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Yeah.